we've just screened Revelation. Starting from right to left, tell us who you are and what your involvement was in the film.
Right, I'm Andrea Rose, and I'm a featured actress in it, and also I had the original synopsis for it.
I'm Dave Watts, and I played both of the male characters in the film.
Thank you. Michelle Devadas. I wrote and directed and produced the film.
Excellent. So, Andrea, where did it come from, the idea?
It was just my imagination, to be honest. I'd had it in my head even before Michelle joined Brentwood Movie Makers. But at the time when she joined, they were doing other things. So I just said to her about this idea I had of a long-lost brother. And Michelle said, well, it'd be a good idea to make it into a twin. And it actually made a lot more sense. And like she wrote the script, as I say, and I was really pleased for it. So thank you, Michelle, for doing that, and Dave being lead. It was great.
It caught me a little bit off guard, I'm not going to lie, because although it was clear what was happening right from the start, I also picked up on, there was on the coffee table at one point, there was like a book on retirement or something, so I was expecting there to be like a retirement bash that hadn't been mentioned. So I think that was a masterstroke. Well done. So was anyone else leaning in that direction? Oh, no, maybe not. Dave, when did you become involved in the project?
I think I was involved from the start. I mean, we
all right, Kevin.
We've worked together as a team. We've worked together as a team for some years. We've done a number of shorts together. And when this one came up, having been behind the camera previously with this group, having directed and produced some of our other shorts, I was quite keen to take a lead role in front of camera. I think Michelle probably had somebody else in mind. I think originally she said she wanted Steve Pemberton to do it, but I think she wrote it with him in mind. But I was A, available, and B, very cheap.
So, talking of very cheap, do you care to disclose the budget?
I think we were talking about this earlier. I think it was around £150.
Wow, that's pretty good.
We had to pay for his tash.
Yeah, that was the moustache was probably the most expensive.
And then we fed the crew, and everybody else kind of volunteered their time, so it was.
How long did the shoot take?
3 days.
Yeah, I think we did it three days on the trot.
It was filmed right on the last weekend of February 2020, so just before COVID hit. So we had people dropping like flies. So I was doing makeup and clapperboard and everything else. It was all hands on deck, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's Dave. How was it to play somebody that was, like you can see the guys unraveling? Was it fun to? I know it sounds silly, but was it fun to play someone that was sort of slowly getting more and more unhinged?
Yeah, I think so. It was good fun. I think playing a miserable old git like that just comes fairly naturally to me, to be honest. So yes, it was good. It was good fun and quite a challenge for me, of somebody who does do some stuff in front of camera, but equally is happy behind the camera. And this was, in a sense, a step up for me, because it was the first time I'd taken the lead role or lead roles in a short like this.
I really enjoyed the kind of like that almost clinical nature to the character of you spilt the sugar, and there was that almost like process to the cleaning. Yeah,
I mean, I think the idea that he's got OCD is definitely a big part of it.
And Michelle, did you? I mean, other than the COVID, which did it all come together? Other than that, how you liked it to all come together?
Yeah, it was. I'd never directed anything before, and it was kind of more luck than judgment. A lot of it, to be fair. I was saying earlier that I don't really know enough about lighting and sound to tell people who do what to do. It was kind of I'll direct it then. So yeah, it came together. There were some bits that we couldn't do, and but yeah, it was good. We enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah,
It was stressful, but it was a learning.
So you operate under the Brentwood Movie Makers
Yes.
brand, and you've had quite a few films out before.
Yep.
What are you currently working on?
Well, I think as Brentwood Movie Makers, we're not currently doing anything, unfortunately, and the pandemic hit us quite hard. So we filmed this just before COVID hit. We weren't really aware it was COVID that was suddenly coming up on the rails at the time. And after that, we did another film, which thankfully you showed here last year, which was the Chain, which we managed to film during lockdown. But since then, we've just not quite got it together again. Michelle's moved away from having been local up towards sort of Colchester. Our DOP, who was also the person who had the house which we filmed this in, has now moved up north. We lost the premises we were hiring in Brentwood. So we've kind of gone in slightly different directions now. And Michelle's got involved with the Essex Film Collective and is now working on a film you're hoping to make with them.
Studio, a Parlour Film, so hoping to. I've got a script that's been picked up, and hopefully we're going for a BFI funding. So.
Cool. Let's go to some audience questions.
How much of what we saw on the screen, how much was it for all that was in the script, and also how much of it was kind of invention on the day and like ideas that you came up with? You thought, oh, let's try this.
I think it's pretty well everything which you wrote is up there on screen.
I think that's the advantage of being writer and director, is that you can. I think there wasn't much we had to improvise in the day. Actually, it's quite a lot of spreadsheets involved. It was quite organised. We had a very short. We had to be out quickly on the last day, so we didn't have the luxury of taking as many takes as we'd like to. But yeah, I think the actors were great. They all knew their lines. We didn't really have to do too many do-overs or anything. Everything that was on the script. I think it changed from the original concept, didn't it? Yeah. It was there was no murder, and there was
no. That's right.
But yeah, it did change quite a lot from the original concept. But yeah.
I think we did originally have a slightly more ambitious idea in terms of visual effects, to have both versions of me on the screen at the same time.
That was it,
but we weren't quite able to achieve that. I think our attempts to do that rather delayed our eventual
the green screen stuff.
The final edit.
Yeah, we did have to slice down the final edit because the green screen just technical issues.
Any other questions? Very shy. Oh.
So, what do you think was your greatest challenge overall?
Getting people to work.
Yeah, I think Michelle's probably right that we just probably didn't have quite the crew that we would have liked to have had in the past. Michelle and I and others have worked together as crew, and this time she told me she definitely wanted me to step aside from that and just focus on trying to get the acting right. And for me, it was a challenge to try and play both characters on the same day. Yeah. Things like keeping the moustache on was a bit of a challenge, to be honest, because it kept falling.
Like a chuckle brother.
It kept falling off. But I think that was it. I think we were under time pressure, and we just didn't have enough bodies on the day
we had no production assistants in the end. They came on and they left partway through the day, and it was crazy.
And stuff, like the makeup, and particularly the work we had to do on Fiona with the blood and everything else. Our other actress was quite time consuming, but it's all a learning curve, and you just get better each time you do this.
I mean, that's the thing with not paying people, right?
Yeah,
it's part and parcel of the voluntary. Yeah.
I like the fact that you come flying in at the end, Andrea. Did you wear any other hats other than the original idea?
No, not really. It's unusual for me to play a happy character.
Yeah. You didn't murder anyone.
No video cassettes in your head or anything like that. So, any other questions? In that case, listen, thanks ever so much for your
Thank you.
film. We really enjoyed it. Give them a big round of applause.